the passing of rappers, dying.
Too often.
Just recently, I know just Mo3, King Von. I mean, the list goes on. The Pop Smoke. The list goes on and on and on.
Yes.
If we want to just talk recent, if we just want to talk 2020, the list is still long as hell. Probably longer than the past 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just curious to just get your insight on that. I'm just kind of want to hear how you feel about that, because that's definitely been bothering me, and it almost makes it scary to want to be a rapper. But I don't even know if I want to say that, because in all reality, some of these rappers, I won't say all, some of them just still live that street life, some of them, in all fairness, because some of them are just innocently taken out here because of jealousy, envy, or whatever the case may be. But some of them do still live the street life, and I just wonder why that's always so hard to cut off. Like, once you get going so good, successfully, the legit way, why is it so difficult? Why do you think it's so difficult for some of these young men and rappers to really, leave the street life alone?
I really think that they're intimidated and they don't want change. Like, think about it. It's like it's their environment, it's their culture, so they don't want to leave it. You know what I mean?
That's
They're like,
true.
okay, I'm gonna move to Beverly Hills, and then what? Be living next to Joanne and John, and you know what I mean? So I just think that they don't want to change it. They like just being around people that they grew up with. Right. You know what I mean? I think about all the time, like, I wish, not really, but I miss being back at home, because, we all knew everybody.
Right.
Like, you can just go to a neighborhood and y'all can have a barbecue. People can pull up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's more of a community.
True.
And I think that that's definitely what it is. They don't want to leave that. They don't want to leave their friends. Mm-hmm. They don't want to leave their borough or whatever it is, you know what I mean?
Right.
They just don't want to leave, because it is different. When they move to the suburb, it is different. You know what I mean? Like, where they're from, they can probably blast music a little bit louder, nobody will care. They can kind of ride around and just and be unbothered. But, when they move to suburbs, maybe that's not the case. Which it isn't, just to be real. Somebody's going to be like, yo, they loud next door, they're having parties and stuff like that. So, I think that that's definitely what it is, but it's just still so unfortunate, because, like you said, so many rap artists, that's the only genre that just murder every week, every other week. And I think it has a lot to do with the music, the lyrics, you know what I mean, what they're talking about, and their upbringing. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these rappers have a big influence on our youth and how violent they are and the things that they're doing, because they're just acting out what you're rapping about. You know what I mean? I think a lot of rappers are super contradicting, because they go up here and they try to stand and talk in front of community events and stuff like that, but then go make a whole song about robbing and killing. Right. You know what I mean? And I get that that's where they came from, right? Because you want to tell your story. Right. You want to tell your story, and that's all they're saying. Like, look, I've been sleeping in the car. Goddamn, I had to sell dope and help my mom, such and such. So they're proud to have survived that. So they want to share that story. But I think we can share the story and still just end it with something positive, saying, hey, but you don't have to do this. Right. I figured out you don't even have to go through that. You know what I mean? And just teach it that way if you have to tell your story. But I think too much, they're just drilling it in front of the youth. Yeah, they are. In every damn song, every video. Yeah. Just everything. And just imagine if music really spoke to, like, a different side of men, I guess, versus right now, it's just hoes, bros, money, drugs, violence. Just imagine if they were rapping about just men, a clique of niggas with getting money the legit way in real businesses, and rapping about how you can, just really, it's such a whole nother side to life that I think some of these street people that, just aren't blessed to either see, or don't even want to try to see it, or think it seems so far-fetched. But I tell people I know all the time that in the streets, like, you can be just as successful, if not even more, sleep peacefully at night, and not have to worry about all that extra stuff, doing it a whole different way. Because most of these guys in the streets, I feel like they got such a good hustler mentality that I'm like, only if you apply that to some real shit. Like, just imagine where you could go with that mentality y'all have, how y'all able to work the streets the way you work it. Just imagine if that were applied to something real, like because it is real. It's a lot of successful black men out here, especially in Atlanta, and they're just not being highlighted enough. Not rappers, you know what I mean? Really. Like, you said what? I said they ain't rappers to really rap about it too. Matter of fact, I saw a post. I follow this group of guys that they're all like corporate, they legit. You know what I mean? But he was like, "Isn't it crazy how it was a rapper that actually paid him to use his cars in the video. And they was like, look at that. The rapper paying the corporate guy that got it the legit way, that has the Rolls Royce, paid him to use his vehicle in the video. You know what I mean? And I just want to say to any young man out there watching, old man, whatever, you can definitely be successful. You know what I mean? No matter where you came from, you can look outside of that. With the internet, everything is at at our fingertips. You know what I mean? So you can go and see that there's better out there. And I know it's not the easiest to change a situation or to change your environment, but it can be done. And just make sure you're feeding yourself, and that you believe that it can be done first and foremost. I think that's it, believing. Like I was
don't let your
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, don't let your past define you, and don't let what you've been through define you. I think sometimes men feel like, oh well, I didn't have this, and I went through this, and now they just take that whole energy and kind of use it to just kind of down themselves even more. I guess if I can interpret that the right way, but just don't let that. You can be anything you want to be. You can stop and change whatever you're doing at any moment. All it takes is for you to decide that you want to do it and to do it. You don't have to let your past define you or what you've been through define you. Like,
Exactly. And it's like, I just wish that our leaders took more accountability, and especially the rappers in particular. And like I said, just change their lyrics. You know what I mean? Like, at least have some type of balance. You know what I mean?
Maybe balance it out.
They see these rappers and they got all these diamonds, and they take all their money out the bank and sit it on the table, literally, and hold on to it for weeks and months and take pictures and videos with the same money or their homeboys' money. And people idolize that. The youth, they idolize that. They're like, damn, I can be rich just by rhyming, just by Cat in the Hatting. You know what I mean? I can get wealthy. So they're like, damn, I want to do that. You know what I mean? And then that's the agenda we push. Like, that's all we put in front of our youth is like rappers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so as parents too, we need to make sure that we create that balance for our kids. You know what I mean? Of course, they're going to gravitate towards rappers and they're going to glorify the jewelry and the money and things like that. But as a parent, like, we have to make sure that we're paying attention and that we provide that balance for our kids by saying, look, put that damn phone down, get off YouTube, turn off the videos, and read this or watch that. You know what I mean? And it has a lot to do with the parents. It has a lot to do with the parents. Like, we can't control what's on the TV nowadays. Everything is on the TV. Everything. You know what I mean? So you just have to educate your kids. You have to just let them know right from wrong and show them that there's better out there. Show them. Even if you aren't the example or no one around you is the example, you can Google some shit and you can prove it to your kid that it's possible. You can Google another black person that's probably doing exactly what they want to do and show them that it's possible. You know what I mean? So,
very, very true.
I just think a lot of the influence comes from music. Some of it's movies. Like, I like T.I. I like that he's educated. I like how he speaks, but I hate that every once in a while he still drops a song talking about the street life. Like, damn, boy, you've been out of the street life for a while now. Can we just focus on the life that you're actually living right now? Yeah. Like, can we focus on that life? You know what I mean? But it's like, I think they fear that nobody will buy their music, maybe. Because I don't get it. I just don't get it. When you pass that life, like, why are we still talking about it? Then you go around and you talk about all these positive things and not selling drugs and this and that, but then you go drop a song like, I was in the trap with the bricks and it's just contradicting, you know what I mean? So the kids confused as hell. Like,
and you saying like people might not buy their music, maybe that is part of what it is, because even if you think about the females, and this is a whole other discussion, but sex sells. It's women that I know that said they tried to do it approach it a different way, I guess, as far as how they carry themselves or their image with the music, but it doesn't take off like the sex sells. When if I'm in a 2-piece rapping about who knows what, deep down the Sprite can. I think back to Lil' Kim all the time. But they've just even like just with images, period. I know women who've done things where they use their image, I guess, to sell whatever they're selling, whether it's an Instagram model, whatever it may be, and just seeing how once they got surgery or things enhanced with their body, how things take off. And it's just unfortunate that I think, it would take a nice amount of people. It can be turned around. It's just going to take, I feel like, a lot of us to really do that. One person can't do it and then everybody else still doing the other shit, because then that person is going to be the one with the less sales probably. So it probably is a catch-22, like, because the way the whole
wants to make it's a sacrifice. Nobody wants to make that sacrifice. It's a sacrifice to shift everything. Let's sacrifice it. Let's not support this type of music But nobody wants to sacrifice their money. Time, nothing. Most people don't like to sacrifice anything. So I think that's what it is. People are scared. Like, I don't want to fail.